Barnaby Flynn for Global People Power at the World Transformed Festival running alongside Labour Party Conference, and I'm asking people what they think nations could and should agree to act on together. Oh, everyone's going in. Right.
Well, the first thing that came to mind was the Global Nuclear Ban Treaty that has been signed by 122 nations, and UK has not agreed to sign, and continues to breach the test ban treaty, not the test ban treaty, but the non-proliferation treaty by not scaling down its nuclear weapons. It's a simple thing to start with.
Global warming?
Right, yes.
That's what I believe that we should, which we are trying to anyway, but obviously America's got a different idea and Trump's got a different idea. So I think that should be, you know, sort of one of the major things we should look at. Global warming, because it is happening, and it's going to affect everyone if we don't do something about it. So.
Okay, I have a thought that I heard somebody say today,
yes.
Which I really agree with, which is that Corbyn's only going to be successful
yes.
if there are other countries that are with Britain in the kind of anti-austerity agenda.
Perfect.
Well, I think that the biggie is sort of like the wars and the destabilised countries, and actually the arms trade and trading more ethically, and just having more sort of equality across the world, instead of sort of the powers really taking advantage or just ignoring the fact, like Saudi goes in and bombs and starves Yemen. I think there should be a worldwide sort of working together to stamp that out, really.
I think inequality is probably the biggest issue that globally we need to tackle, and I think particularly financial inequality within nations. And once you've started tackling financial inequality, the social inequality, health inequality all kind of follow suit. I think tackling that as a global goal will achieve equality for all, really.
Thank you, Valerie.
Tax avoidance, having a global consensus on tax havens like what was it, like the Panama Papers?
Country by country reporting on.
Yeah, and I think like an agreement. I think a lot of the big Western countries, a lot of their banks are implicated in those tax havens, which is the reason they haven't really made the efforts they could to stop that. But obviously, those tax havens are often at the root of a lot of the world's biggest problems, i.e. lots of sort of dictators and huge kind of criminals funnel their money away to these places. So having a consensus on that globally would be kind of vital to stopping it.
Excellent.
Global tax policy and the ending of all tax havens, offshore tax havens.
Perfect. Thank you much, Joe. Thank you very much, Joe.
Probably almost everything, because actually we only have one planet. It isn't actually big enough for us all to live in big houses with cars and have a garden each, so we have to learn how to share. And if it was a smaller island that we lived on, or if all billions and billions of us lived on one island, we would have to share. And it's because we've put fictitious borders between countries. Borders, incidentally, there are no borders. Borders is one of those words that people think exists, but a border is something, a line drawn on a map by a human being. There are some natural borders, there are mountain ranges and seas, but all the other borders are drawn by human beings. So one of the first things I would look at is who's drawn the borders and why, and who is divided by those borders and who is brought together.
Do you think that all weapons of mass destruction should be banned globally?
Yes.
And are there other things you think of that could stop nations from going to war with each other too easily, that all countries could agree on together?
Well, climate change is something, because that's driving migration, which is driving horrible immigration policies, and there should be much more cooperation on that as well.
So that's another global issue then. Climate change,
issue.
Another interconnected with people moving around the world, and also with conflict
driving famine, driving refugee flows, which drives racist immigration policies and triggers wars and civil conflict.
Please subscribe to this channel. Comment below on what you think the world could and should agree to act on together. and follow this link to see a list of potential global policies which you could suggest, debate and vote on to be included in a global manifesto.